Well, hello there friends, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for another video. Today I'm going to be using the Art Impressions STAMPtember collaboration set with Simon Says Stamp. This is the first reveal for STAMPtember's collaboration stamps and dies, and I just love this set. It is called Sweet Bday. I'm a big fan of Art Impressions stamps and dies. I've been using them for years and they are so much fun. This set just makes me smile because it features these awesome donuts, these two women with their donuts, a stack of them in one hand, and then you've got a little embellishment stamp that you can use to put with them if you'd like, with the little tier of donuts, little candle on top. I think it's just super cute. It's a fun set. You don't have to use it for birthdays though. If you eliminated the stamp that includes the donuts with the candle, you could totally use this for just an everyday card. So let me show you the stamp set. I have it on my desk here along with the coordinating dies, and as you can see, the stamp set features some really great greetings such as "You're fabulous" and "Have a sweet day." Really great for everyday cards. And then like I said, we have the coordinating dies as well. I'm going to go ahead and start by stamping my images. I'm going to stamp them onto some Hammermill white cardstock with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. And the reason I'm choosing these two products is because I do want to Copic color this image, and I find that the Hammermill cardstock works really well for Copic coloring. It's one of my favorites to use. I use that in a mix of also Simon Says Stamp 120-pound white cardstock, which works really well with Copics too. And then the Intense Black ink, that is a great ink for stamping for any type of medium, including Copics. Not every black ink is great for Copics, but this one is, and it also works with pencils, watercolors, and other mediums too. So it's a great all-around ink. So I'm going through and I'm coloring all of my images here. I'm starting first with the donuts, and I used a nice bright happy color combination of pink, green, yellow, blue, and purple. Those are my main colors, and then I will add some browns for the women's hair, and I did use some brown for the cake of the donuts. Now, if you're interested in any of the Copic colors that I did use, I have them linked below in the video description, but I also have them over on my blog as picture links too. So if you really wanted to find something, you can find the information in either of those two places. And before I get any further, I do want to mention that this stamp set with Art Impressions is an exclusive collaboration set and is only available while supplies last. That's the fun of STAMPtember, is that these stamp sets are super special. They are a surprise every day because you don't know what brand is going to be revealed, but then they're only available for a short time. Once they sell out, they're not getting restocked. So if you like this stamp set and the coordinating dies, you're going to want to grab it while you can because they only are available for a limited time only. I think this one will sell out pretty quickly. It's a really, really good one. And like I said, Art Impressions is such a popular stamp company. I have worked with their products for many, many years and just love the illustrations that they come up with. So I'm wrapping up my coloring here. I'm going to really intensify some of the donuts here with a nice dark chocolate. I think that really adds some contrast to this stack, and so they're not all a light colored donut, which I really like. And then I did pull in some of those darker browns that I used for the donuts into the hair of the woman on the right, just so that way it makes everything feel very cohesive. We don't want any colors to stand out too much by themselves and make them feel out of place. So once the coloring was complete, now I brought in some glossy accents, and I'm going to embellish my stamping here. This is a technique that I love doing to add interest to my coloring. So the glossy accents is a clear adhesive, and it's going to allow me to color in sections of my donuts with the glue, and then I can come back in with some glitter and sprinkle that over top of the wet adhesive, and that's going to give me some sparkly icing. This is enhancing these stamped images and giving them a whole new life. If you use the clear adhesive like the glossy accents, then you'll still maintain that color underneath that we used to color in these fabulous donuts. Now you don't have to use just a clear glitter like I did here. I used unicorn confetti from Simon Says Stamp. You can also use a colored glitter. Here I used this wild glitter, and it's in this really nice, pretty sparkly teal color, and I used that to create some interest on top of the teal colored donuts. And then finally, I'm going to have a mix of glitters here. I'm going to use some clear rock candy on top of the rest of my donuts that I haven't already colored with the other two glitters. This is giving these a lot of different sparkle and shine. They are going to sparkle differently because there are 3 different types of glitter. So it really adds some interest to this finished piece. Once that dried, I let that dry for quite a while, actually overnight, only because I was working on this at night and I wanted to go to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I came back the next morning and now I'm going to go ahead and work on die cutting these pieces. So these pieces I'm using are the coordinating dies from the stamp set. And I'm going to die cut these two pieces and then work on creating a background for them to sit on. Now this background is a piece of white cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. It's 120 pound white. And I'm using 4 shades of ink in the Positively Saturated Ink collection to form a little rainbow of a color around the edges. I'm going only into the edges. You're gonna see me keep putting my image in place just so I make sure I don't go into the center. I want the center to be lighter, and that's gonna help frame my image. I don't want it to feel too heavy and dark behind them. So I'm using those 4 shades, which are Peony, Zest, Tide Pool, and also Celery. And that's going to wrap up the ink blending for the first layer, but then we're gonna come in with a stencil and add in some extra fun. So my thought was I wanted to add some sprinkles on this background because there are sprinkles on the donuts, and I thought that would tie everything together really nicely. Plus, I was dying to use this new stencil set that I had created for Simon Says Stamp called Layering Sprinkles. This just came out in the STAMPtember collection, which is a completely different set of products from the collaboration sets. The STAMPtember collection is a collection of products that are going to be restocked continuously, so you don't have to worry about something like this stencil selling out. So I'm going to use this stencil and color in the different sprinkles, and there are 4 layers of stencils that form this sprinkle background. And I'm using the same shades that correspond with the same sections of the background to form the color. So basically anywhere where I had teal ink on the background, I then colored the sprinkles teal in that section. Pink for the pink section, yellow for the yellow section. And so it's going to just basically make a tone-on-tone background. But for the final and 4th layer, which is a series of little dots, kind of like a different shape of sprinkle, those I'm actually going to apply to my paper with paste. This is going to give some interest to the background, and it's going to add some sparkle too. This is a really cool paste from Brutus Monroe called Candy Coat Pearl. It's really neat because it almost has a holographic look to it once it dries. It dries somewhat clear, and then it has this little iridescent holographic finish. I don't even know how to describe it. It's super cool. It's a really, really neat finish, and I loved how that looked with these colors, but then it also adds to the candy sprinkle birthday vibe that we're going here for this card. Okay, so now we're ready to start assembling our pieces now that everything is dry and ready to be put together. I'm using Simon Says Stamp foam squares on the back side of the women. That way I'm going to get a little bit of dimension off of the background. And these foam squares are so handy. I use them for everything. So I'm going to pop them up into the center of my scene. Then I'm going to take that cute little stack of donuts with the birthday candle on top, and I'll add that in front of them. Now all I need to do is work on my sentiment. And I thought that the frappe birthday was such a cute greeting. There are so many others though. Like I said, better together, we make a great combo, you're fabulous. Like there's so many good things in this set, and you can use this stamp set for more than just birthdays. But I'm making a birthday card. I'm going to stamp my sentiment with embossing ink onto some princess cardstock from Rainbow Splash. Use white embossing powder to sprinkle on top, and then I'll set that with my heat tool. That's going to give me that nice crisp white greeting on that cardstock. All I'll need to do now is just trim it down into a little strip, and then I can pop it up onto my card. I love putting sentiments on an angle lately. It's super fun. It adds some movement and some interest to the card. So I did do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some foam tape on the front of an A2 card, and then I will add my fabulously sparkly donut card panel on top, and that's going to look great with that little bit of shadow coming out from behind that panel. All right, so we're wrapping things up with the last finishing touch, and this is a little bit of sparkle on the areas where I just want something very subtle. This is a glitter gloss pen from Nuvo. It is a clear finish, so it's just going to add a very subtle clear sparkle on top. And I just added that to certain parts of the image, such as their shirts, maybe their shoes, the little cake stand, just little areas. And now as I pick this up, I'm going to turn it in the light so you can catch that sparkle and see it. It's so hard to catch on camera, but in person, this card is really sparkly, super fun, and just a really happy birthday card. I love how this image worked so well. It fills the card nicely, so you really get a great focal point. And when you pair it with some bright, happy colors like this, who could not smile getting this card in the mail? Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed today's video and were inspired by the ideas that I've shared today, including adding some fun embellishments like some glitter to your stamped images to give them a little extra special touch. If you love this Art Impressions and Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember collaboration set called Sweet Bday, then I hope you'll check it out. I have links to it down in the video description as well as on my blog. And remember that it is a limited edition set, so if you do like it, you're going to want to grab it while you can. Thanks so much, friends, for stopping by and spending time with me today. I hope you come back soon for more inspiration, but until next time, have a wonderful day.